I love the Dragon Ball franchise. I love everything about it. The creatures, the stories, the worlds, and even the characters. And today we're going to be talking about just that bastard supporting cast. Now I'm not saying in any way, shape or form are the supporting cast from Dragon Ball bad by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, they're probably the most interesting and probably one of the best in all of anime, and maybe even stretching throughout all types of mediums. That being said, god are they fucking useless. Now you can count on one hand the amount of Dragon Ball characters with a decent amount of history, i.e. being from the original Dragon Ball, which is my personal favourite, or Z, who are still majorly relevant to the plot nowadays, and if you take away the ones that don't fight, you're pretty much left with 2 or 3 at a stretch. It's a fucking shame too, because all of the characters in some way, shape or form have something to add, even if you might feel they're a little bland. Now let's go down the list and talk about some of the past characters who have either fought against, for, or alongside Goku, and see how they could be implemented into the modern Dragon Ball era. First off, let's start with Krillin and Roshi. Now they're both still semi-relevant, Krillin more so, but that's mainly because he's friends with Goku and he can't just disappear out of thin air now, can he? Both of these guys have made a return in Super, and if they trained enough, they could probably stand up to most foes the Z Fighters or the Dragon Team, whatever the fuck you want to call them, run into nowadays. But there's something that's stopping them that would probably stop them from reaching the level of maybe a Goku or a Vegeta, other than them just being humans. And we'll cross that bridge when we get there, but let's just say it's going to be a rant video in of itself. Yamcha is an odd one. He's joke fodder at best most of the time these days, but he could still kick ass. But again, since he's human, there's something stopping him that will probably get its own rant, like I said, in the coming days. So I guess subscribe for that and stay tuned. Tien and Chaozu are some of my favourite characters out of the entire Dragon Ball franchise, and I'll probably go into more detail as to why whenever I make my top 10 Dragon Ball characters list. But let's just say for now, I really like their companionship and their kind of like cute dynamic they have going on. Now I know Chaozu is kind of a joke character because of all of the Goodbye Tien shit that happened at the start of Z, but since Tien has been brought back into relevancy because of shit like the Tournament of Power and fighting off the Frieza Force in the Golden Frieza arc, well at least a new Frieza Force, I feel like Chaozu could be brought back too, so they can fight alongside each other, kind of like Goten and Trunks do. But without sitting here for 5 years and talking about all of the fighters that are in Dragon Ball as a whole, let's just go over some of the characters that people will argue are relevant. Piccolo, while still semi-relevant, is pretty much Chi-Chi's bitch at this point and is on babysitting duty most of the time for Pan anyway. Goten and Trunks, not counting future Trunks, at this point are as useless as Puar and Oolong because they do jack shit. Bulma doesn't fight, but she's surprisingly one of the most useful characters that Dragon Ball's ever seen, and she still maintains that usefulness and relevancy, which is surprising seeing as she's one of the first characters you've ever seen in the original Dragon Ball. As for those bastard gods, they were semi-recently introduced, so it'd make absolutely zero fucking sense to make them irrelevant unless you want to retcon the whole idea of gods, and I think we're a little too far gone for that. As a whole, I think the Dragon Ball cast could be greatly improved and made more prominent. I mean, it definitely wouldn't have hurt the show. I mean, look at GT. One of the reasons people hated that show so much, as well as other reasons, was the fact that despite having characters like Future Trunks or just Trunks and Pan, the show was essentially the Goku show, or Goku time if you will. And I know Super has kind of brought back all the characters and made them a little more prominent and stopped it kind of being the Goku and Vegeta show. The way in which they did it is kind of a rant in of itself. Anyway guys, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to subscribe. I'm trying to reach 100 by the end of the year. We're in the last month of the year, we're in December, so any little bit helps at this point. Share the video with your friends if you think they'll be interested. I've got some new videos coming up which also might be Dragon Ball related, so you want to stick around for that if you did enjoy this video. Like the video again, share them with your friends. Any little bit helps at this point. I'm trying to reach 100 by the end of the year, like I said, so yeah, this is a final stretch, every bit counts. And yeah, I've been XYZ Cruncher, stay cool, stay safe, stay crunchy. I'm out, peace.